happens before the state convention and when the state resolutions committee is meeting, they can choose to add that in, what we think of that as a party. Yes.
Could we add soliciting sex from a minor as a felony?
Right now.
I mean, is that something that nobody would have thought they would not do, that he could still get his...
It isn't.
To get his pension
Yeah,
taken
that's-
away.
pension? I mean, is that something that somebody is going to try to take?
It could be. It could be. Maybe you want to do that.
Yeah, still
And
get
I
his
will
pension.
say, yeah, I mean, you know, that's very much a possibility. You know, so things like that, that you can bring those from the floor or take those to another resolutions committee that meets at a later
We
date.
may not know what the district is taking to the state at the county level, right?
No, what you're going to know though is for the most part that whatever's passed at the county level is probably going to be going on. Here and there you might have some changes where something gets pulled off, but not all that often, at least not from the Tulsa to 1st District. You might run into issues like in the 2nd District where you have, you know, I want to say Rogers County, that's not necessarily all that much more different than the rest of the 2nd District, but it's my best example. Where in the 2nd District, like, well, you have the issue where from the 1st District to then the state, we might have a lot of stuff about gun control, but then it goes to the state and you get all these rural counties involved too, and they're like, oh no, we ain't doing that. We want our guns. So you have that issue there.
So my question is, could somebody, because obviously this came up since the precinct meeting and all of the resolutions.
I mean, that could always be added at another
So
point.
somebody could show up and have a clipboard and then you just have sign-ins, so somebody do that, because I'm not officially a Democrat yet. I'm trying, but
Yeah.
in 3 weeks that I have not got my card.
Okay.
But, so somebody could just have a clipboard with signatures to say, we gotta change it
Yes.
so it's a felony if you actually
Right.
solicit from a minor. You
And I
don't
will
get-
suggest, and I would
And you don't get your pension.
And I would suggest if you see something not in the resolutions report you think should be in there, then yeah, get your petitions, because in all honesty, you know, I know a lot of people have been asking me, how do I campaign to be a state delegate? Well, because the way we do these caucuses, it's really hard to try to tell somebody how they should do that. You know, the best advice I've given is just make sure people know you're involved, know you've been doing things, you know what you're about. But in all honesty, being somebody who is trying to make sure a resolution gets on there, you're meeting people, they see you care about something, they're more likely to vote for you if they're in the same group as you when we're electing state delegates.
And how do you, you're going to get to the delegate part here?
Yeah, I'm going to get to the, yeah.
So I'm wondering how you set up these little groups.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, yes.
You said earlier, you know, there's probably resolution to go on that, not that, how do you know whether a resolution needs to be discussed or not? What determines whether it's discussed or whether it needs to go on?
What determines, well, I say discuss, we're going to vote on what's being discussed. So you're pulling aside for discussion, and that means because you find that you want to, you're against it, so we'll end up having a debate and then vote whether or not it's going to be included. And then we'll have, or maybe you want to change some wording, you want to amend it, and so you'd say how you want it amended, and there may or may not be debate on that, and then vote on the amendment or not, and then vote on that resolution then as amended, or if it wasn't amended, okay, do we want this in there?
So it's more like if you hear resolution that you have objections to, then you have.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, not just to talk about it, not just that it, you know, we're to talk about it if it's just are we for or against this? Do we want it in the report or not? But if you want it in the report, there's no reason to pull it aside to the discussion. The only reason to pull it aside, in all honesty, is because you don't want it in the report or you're trying to amend it. Yes.
Are there time limits on the debate?
Yes, and that's outlined in the rules of how long and how many people can speak to each one. And so if it's something that does look like, you know, there's going to be a lot of debate, the chair will typically say, okay, all those for come over to this side, all those against come over to this side, and then work out amongst yourselves who's actually using that time. So not everybody's necessarily going to speak to it.
How long do the debates usually last?
I want
Per
to say it's like
resolution.
5 minutes.
Longer than that, and this is what it goes too long.
And that's the thing, 5 minutes becomes much long, 2 minutes becomes much longer. You know, it'll be in the rules report. There is a section on what debate time is, what those time limits are.
So each resolution, they could have a debate on.
They could. It doesn't generally, because we all for the most part agree on most things. There's a small amount of stuff we do not. And in all honesty, it seems like, you know, there's that one or two that seems to have everybody riled up, but for the most part, it's really smooth sailing.
So it goes pretty fast if there's not a debate.
Right.
Check.
Got
Got that.
Yeah. So that'll kind of make sense for resolutions now, where we're at on that.